The Syntax of Things by Arisha. Chapter 12. Wisdom. Conceding. Closing his book, Severus waited for the boy to retire upstairs, only to have him continue staring at him from his rightful place on the floor. The unexpected event of Tobias's sudden appearance a few days ago didn't seem to have troubled Potter much since, and most surprisingly, it hadn't been mentioned again. As for now, at the sight of the spineless brat defiantly occupying his carpet, it occurred to him that he shouldn't have given permission to Potter to be out of his room unless necessary. On second thought, he hadn't given him permission. Potter didn't seem to mind. "You were poking through my belongings again, were you not?" Potter blinked and then shook his head. "No, why?" The demonstration of innocence almost staggered him. "You shouldn't talk to him." But he wasn't, not on purpose. He was only insisting on reminding the boy of the distinct lines he wasn't allowed to cross. Mentioning them again and again. Despite Potter's attitude, there was still the tiny chance that voicing the rules would make them easier to enforce. Liar. This will only encourage him. "You attempted to break into the basement last night." Potter cleared his throat. I didn't exactly do that. I only thought it'd be... Not that I should, I just... "For your information," Severus said, "I could hear you casting spells on my door at 3 a.m. Again! Don't you have anything better to do all night long aside from spying on me?" The way Potter shrugged his shoulders inspired a new wave of anger. "I'm sorry." "Good. It's just that sometimes it's just better to stay awake over something, you know?" "Bad. I don't," he retorted. He knew about the visions Potter had. The whole world knew. To some people, it was a legend. To Severus, well, another bothersome, horrid situation. And suddenly, he was impatient to get to the point. "Have you been having nightmares, then? I'm not going to ask twice, so speak up." "No, not really. It's just that... Have you ever had dreams..." Potter laughed softly and licked his lips, his eyes fixed on the carpet. "Well, I don't really know how to talk about this. Have you ever had dreams that are merely memories? Not exactly nightmares, just really bad dreams. Of people you know and you trust, but not in the way you really know them. Like your mind is stuck in a certain memory and can't move past it." Potter searched his face. "Bugger. Are you enjoying your stay, Potter?" "Huh?" "Your stay. Are you enjoying it?" Potter tilted his head. "I don't Seeing how you're treating this as a vacation and my house is a hotel, I can only hope that you're at least enjoying your stay." "This isn't about emptying my mind and stuff, I know." "What is it about then? Traumas? You don't have time for them." "Well, I don't control my dreams, you know." "You should. You should get over whatever keeps you back from succeeding. You enjoy your failures because they buy you time." "Oh, shut up, Snape. You know nothing. Nothing!" Snape smirked. "Don't I? Your mind is an open book, isn't it?" "Well, yes, thanks to you and your bloody mind games." Potter's eyes were stubbornly avoiding Severus's again. Severus had to keep himself from snapping, "Damn the boy for opening his heart to him without permission." And a very disturbing and delirious heart it was. Damn himself, too, for letting it happen then. He should have been drugging himself unconscious since the day he brought the little monster here. It would spare him the honesty. "Naturally." Potter snorted. "Yeah, never mind." Pleased that confessions seemed to have come to an end, he granted Potter a reproving expression. And he only regretted having done so when Potter went on. "It's just that sometimes I feel so many different things at once that I don't even know how I really feel. Like, one moment I don't care about something and the next I do. And then I go to bed and I feel like both caring and not caring, and it's too hard to keep on thinking about it, so I don't know, I just snap. I have to get out of bed and do something or I'll..." He trailed off, and Snape was amazed. He supposed there were still people that were being traumatized by death out there. He vaguely recalled himself being disoriented after grief, too. Severus had become what he was today at the age of 21. He did not need a reminder of what he was before. "The conflict between the will to deny the horrible events that have happened to you and the will to proclaim them aloud is going to drive you mad if you don't come to terms with your own emotions. What has happened is past. Blaming yourself will only make you weaker." Potter stared. Severus choked on self-disgust. Dumbledore should be proud. The only thing left for him and Potter to do now was to get twin bracelets to celebrate their eternal friendship. Here he was for all the world to see. Harry Potter's personal therapist.
But that's not the point. I know that. I just don't know it all the time.
Potter moved to the couch, suddenly interested in what Severus had to say. Severus gritted his teeth indignantly.
Your emotions have control of you. Train yourself to... This isn't legitimacy, and this isn't scolding. Train yourself to control your emotions. You have to admit your weaknesses to yourself in order to defeat them. Your grief causes you panic. Panic is the worst enemy of logic. You're doing this to yourself. I am trying, Potter said. Severus could see his frown now and noticed that under his glasses the skin was red. There was a dim, questioning light in Potter's eyes as he lifted his head, and it occurred to Severus that he didn't know what to make of it. Well, I am!
A pause.
Okay, I'm not. But I have. It seems pointless, honestly. Then you may as well give in to your despair. No one is going to stop you, and it's entirely legal. Not to mention extremely easy. All you have to do is pity yourself, something at which you are admittedly talented, for a change. I'm not pitying myself, look. Forget it, I shouldn't have told you. You're right, you shouldn't. I wouldn't if you hadn't pushed me. You were my responsibility, Potter. I'm sadly obliged to protect you from harming yourself for the time being.
The awkwardness was vivid between them again, and Severus noticed that it wasn't only his usual disgust for children that was causing it. There was something on Potter's expression that wouldn't let him relax. Severus would call it maturity, were it on anyone else's face. On Potter's face, it could merely be sadness. Severus didn't care. Although, most likely, Potter had yet to find some time to mourn the dog's loss. Oh, for fuck's sake! Do you have any suicidal thoughts, then? Potter looked up.
What? No. Then do yourself a favor and move on before you begin to. And what do you know about it?
Right. What did he? Apparently not much.
What I know is that once again, I'm sacrificing my own sleep because of you. This is the last time, let me assure you.
After a moment, Potter nodded but didn't move.
Well, leave then!
Potter stood. Severus did too and tried not to notice that the boy was smiling again.
Honestly, Professor, if you wanted to sleep, you wouldn't be sitting in the living room until dawn either.
Touché.
So what if he kills me?
Severus jolted to his senses. He was alarmingly aware of the nonchalance behind the question and at the same time horrified at the fact that the boy didn't seem hesitant to ask.
Then he wins.
And they'd all be damned to hell, Potter included. A shiver ran down his spine at the image of England under the Dark Lord's reign, and he mentally cringed at the faint memory of himself ages ago, wishing just that with all his might. He lowered his wand and slumped on his chair.
That will be all for today. No, I mean...
Potter sat on the couch, sparing himself a moment to bend down and rub the dizziness of legitimacy off his temples. He placed his own wand on the table.
If the prophecy is right, he's going to become immortal if I die. Is that right? It doesn't work that way, thankfully. And prophecies can be interpreted towards many conclusions. No, they can't. Dumbledore has told me the truth, you know. What this so-called prophecy foresees should not concern you much. Your soul is bonded with the Dark Lords because he's marked you. This is irrelevant to all theories. It is a fact. Prophecy or not, he's going to hunt you down. How it began is of little importance. The question is how it's going to end.
Potter didn't look convinced.
And if it ends the wrong way, then you won't be around to worry about it, will you? So that's your advice?
He hadn't realized he was being asked for advice.
My advice, he rubbed his forehead with a hand, is to grow up. Predictions don't exist.
Severus believed in predictions once. It was the worst mistake of his life. Potter glared at him suspiciously, and then his features softened.
You're wrong. Predictions exist. I mean, there must be something like fate, or things that can't not happen. Otherwise, time-turners wouldn't be loyal to a certain continuum.
Severus had a mind to ask him where his knowledge of time-turners derived from when he remembered that he didn't care. There was venom in his lungs. He blamed a long-gone Potter for bequeathing a mischievous nature to the kid before him and for managing to produce it in general. Call yourself a hero if it makes you feel any better, but you're not. And until you become one, if ever, stop using predictions to pose as one for attention. Chuckling was not the reaction he expected.
You're impossible.
2, he silently agreed. This would require detention. Tradition had it that students did not think of their teachers as common people. or desired to talk to them outside the classroom, whatever the reason was. When it wasn't annoying, it was simply tiresome. Severus laughed. Apparently having a student under your own roof could change that. A bit.